we're going to go to our dear, sweet Sefer HaKuzari. So we mentioned the whole thing about the years, the history of Jewish people from the beginning of the creation. And the last thing we did, if I'm not mistaken, Memtet, that he wanted to say, the Chacham, that everything we have it in order. Everything makes sense, and it can't be that it's not right. Right. All these things is written. We have everything written for years after the Moshe. Everything we have it. Basically, we know the history, what happened. Nun. Amar Kuzari. Kuzari answers back, the king. He says, זה בטל וניתכן זה. ואנחנו מוסרים את החוכמות בכתבי ידי מחבריהם מלפני 500 שנה. This can't be. That there are a lot of things we have these days. Maybe I think it means does not go right the way you say. What are you saying?
He's saying it's impossible. It would be impossible for them to be lying. That you must be telling the truth. It can't be that you're wrong.
So now he's not arguing?
He's not arguing. He's saying.
Well, so what does it mean? Ze batel. You sure you're doing the number noon?
Yeah.
50?
He says, I agree that it would be impossible. After all, we have books today that were written 500 years ago. No lie could ever successfully be carried forward in light of all the available evidence.
So now, so you're saying it's not arguing. I thought they argue. You're saying they're not arguing, and that this Kuzari, this king, he agrees with basically this Chacham, that the information we have is impossible, that is not forged. For sure, everything is true. And we have a lot of things written from 500 years ago.
And something would have contradicted.
Okay.
It would have been disproven, or there's no way.
If it's not right, then somebody would say something. That's what they're saying? Exactly. Okay. So now, let's see what's the continuation. וסיפור אודות מי שהיה לפני 500 שנה לא ייתכן לחזה בענייניו המפורסמים כמו שהייחוסים והלשונות והכתבים. So, very nice. So he agrees and he says all these things, it goes back to 500 years ago. It's impossible that they lied. Whatever they wrote down, basically, they should be a right thing. It can't be that they are not right. Okay. Nun Aleph. So far they're not arguing. I understood yesterday. It's very funny language. Ze batel. The batel. Ze lo yitachen. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. I thought he's arguing. No, so he was saying he's not arguing. Nun Aleph. Amar Echaver. So the Chacham said, ואיך לא סתרו את משה במה שמסר ועמו בודקים אחריו כל שכן זולתו. So now, he's talking about people or talking about the Muslims and Christians? Or everybody? Everybody, huh? So everyone checked into it. It can't be something wrong went into it. That what happened with the Moshe, or the Har Sinai, all these things, if they weren't right and they weren't saying the truth, most probably somebody said something. So everyone check into it. So Numbet. Amar Kuzari elu advarim megubalim chazagim umusasim. Again, he agrees with the fact that the history we have is basically true. It can't be that somebody changed it. It's very strong as a right foundation for our religion. Nun Gimel. Amar Echaver. Haim ata savur she'al leshonos qadumot En reshit lahen. So he asked him a question. The Chacham, this basically Jewish person, he is asking a question from the Kuzari, the king. Do you think it comes to your mind that all old languages, they had no reshit to the beginning, just came? Nun dalet. Amar Kuzari. The Kuzari said, Lochi, الهن خداشد مسکام علیهن مورا عرضه خیبوران من هشمود در پالی من میلود و علم این آتیوت حلقو خود من موسای هدیبور. So now, what are you saying? He agrees again? It can't be that the language we have these days come from nowhere, right? All the languages we have, what does it mean? He says, Elahen chadashot. How do you understand that part in the Kuzari? The Kuzari, the king, can say, Lochi elahen chadashot muskam alehen. I understand that language is very bothers me. The chadashot. Elahen chadashot. What does it mean? I cannot put it together. I understand he is agreeing with the Talmid Chacham that everything put together nicely, has a makor, has a source and everything.
So the languages are new. How is it in English? So each language began at some point in history.
Okay, so that's why it is. So each one has a beginning, basically. Okay. Amar Chaver. The Chaver says, or said, Haraita bode lashon milibo o shamata alav. Have you seen that something fake, I think, language coming from the heart? Somebody made it up. Did you hear anything like this? Nun vav. Amar Kuzari. Lo raiti velo shamat. I have not seen such a thing and haven't heard such a thing. When safek shehen hitavu bedor min hadorot. You have to say the languages we have these days, it goes back for a long time, generations after generations. ולא היה לפני כן לשון שמוסכם עליה, מהסכמת עם זולת עם על לשון. So basically, again, what he said before, at a certain time, they decided one certain language, and they started that language as continued until today. So it seems like the God agree with each other to do it that way. They got to the Haskama that they agreed that that's going to be the language, and they started the language from there. I think that's what he's saying.
So there was a language in the beginning that everybody was speaking, and from there they developed more language
So in the beginning, we had certain language
that everybody knew,
that everyone knew about it.
and all
The other languages, what happened? How they come along?
developed
From that language, so we have to say all the languages came from Hebrew. Okay? Lashon HaKodesh. Okay. Yeah. If you No, Hebrew is the first one. The other languages come from Hebrew. That's how it goes. Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the microgal. What is microgal? Microwave. Okay. Now, the question is, when you cook something inside the microwave, that's something asur min haTorah on Shabbat, of course we're talking, or is same thing I'm making on the fire? So now,
So what is the question again?
microwave. You want to cook something on microwave on Shabbat.
Is it the right or the Rabbanan?
Right. Okay. That's a machloket. Let's see what's going to...
Timer,
Huh?
with the timer.
I don't know how you put it on timer even. If you put the microwave on timer, I don't think it's going to turn on.
Yeah,
And
because
I
you
never
have to
tried before.
activate the
You have to
controller.
act. This is like a old one. You could.
Mhm.
Old one you could. The old one wasn't digital. You just put it on the number, plug it in, that works. So maybe talking about those. Anyway, that's how to do with us. Let's say,
Get ready.
yeah, right. So we have Rav Moshe Feinstein, Zichron Livracha. He held in his sefer the Isumi Doraita Mina Torah. What's his raya? What is proof for what he's saying? Says Gemara Shabbat Lameted Amud Aleph. He's talking about cooking in the chama, under the sun. We had this before. The Rashi says over there, why is it mutar to do? Why is it permitted to cook something under the sun? Because Rashi says over there, en derech bishul bekach. That's not the way to cook. So therefore, Rav Moshe Feinstein learns from here, since these days, that's the derech, the way to cook with microwave, this is considered like the fire and a Mishra Torah. Let's just think about it a little bit. It comes out, according to Rav Moshe Feinstein, if it comes a derech, a way to cook under the sun, it's going to be Sumina Torah.
Why? Oh, if everybody will
Everyone does it. Okay, this is very, very wild thing. Okay, you're thinking about the microwave now.
So
Right.
it wasn't so common.
Okay.
Say the first person had a microwave.
Right. So it could be only the Rabbanan, according to Rav Moshe. But now Rav Moshe holds these days, everyone cooked with microwave. He's in Misumin Torah. He learns from the Rashi. This is how you understand the Gedolim, big people, that Rav Moshe could learn from the Rashi in the Gemara for the microwave of these days. That's how the Chachamim applies the Gemara, the Talmud, the Rashi Ba'al Peh, everything, the Mishnayot, to the Tesla we have these days. Okay, very nice. This is Rav Moshe Feinstein. Then we have Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, also one of the Gedolim. He says in his Sefer, anything you cook with, but it's not coming from the fire, is the Rabbanan. What are you going to do with the Rashi in the Gemara? The Rashi, you have to say something. He says it's not the derech to cook. He doesn't say anything about the fire. So he says, ולא נתכוון רש"י לומר, אלא דכיוון דאין דרך לבשל בחמה. אין עוד דומה לבישול שהיה במשכן. ולפיכך אין זה קרוי בישול. So what he meant, that is not the derech to cook Rashi in the Gemara, Shabbat, Lameted Amud Aleph. He's talking about because they didn't do cooking inside the Beit HaMikdash with the chama. Only with fire. So therefore,
so basically, based on this, everything that is not cooking with fire is not deoraita.
right, according to him, very nice. Okay. Now, what's the nafkamina? What we have to learn for this? Why you have to know is the Rabbana Doraita. Okay. One of the things you need to know, let's say you have somebody chole sick in your house. When you come and make it. Or you want to ask a goy. Of course, when you want to ask a goy to cook for you, the other questions you have to ask how to do it and everything. You're allowed to do it or not. So therefore,
But this is a fact.
right. Now, this is back then. Rav Moshe Feinstein and Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, they have a machloket, two Gedolim. Says over here, Sefer Maaseh Shabbat. But Hayom, our days, is a little bit different. Why? Hakol modim she'asur leishtamesh bahem min haTorah. Now, microwave, according to everybody, is a Yisur min haTorah. Why? He says, I don't know, you have to check all the microwaves, they work this way. I don't know, I have enough information. Mishum shesh Yisur mav'ir behaf'alat norat libun hakayemet b'chol machshir ha'mikrogan. there is a nerot libun. They get hot inside the microwave. Lesorech. Oh, he says the light inside the thing. There's a light inside the microwave, so it's gonna be the oraita.
Okay, you turn off the light like the food.
Okay. First of all, first question you have to ask: what kind of light he's talking about? The light we have these is LED. Is the Rabbana. Okay. Back then, I remember. Okay, they had one the oraita, so we don't have these days. So now, but the new ones, there is no way you turn off the light. You cannot open everything. It's back then we used to fridge also. You could open it and take the bulbs out and everything. These is very hard to turn off the light. But anyway, right? All the appliances we have these days is very hard to turn off the light. Okay, that's why these days on the fridge they have an option of Shabbos mode.
But my question is, they say it's the oraita only because of this light. It has nothing to do with the heat.
Right,
with the
right,
derech of the shiur.
right. Now it says go. V'chen, also another problem. Yesh isur mav'ir kayom behaf'ala shel mecholel gale hamikro. Now I don't know. We have to check all the microwaves these days. They work that way. There is a certain thing inside the microgal or microwave. This turns on that it makes the food hot. Now that thinks if it gets hot, that's like the ish. That's like the fire, according to everybody. So anyway, again, if your only choice you have the fire and the microwave, you better to do with the microwave. What? Okay, that you went from the beginning of the shiur. So if you want, you could listen to the YouTube from the beginning while we talk until now, for the last 10 minutes. So it's better to use microwave because at least is a safek. At least in the question is going to be is it the oraita or the rabbanan? But again, nobody says it's mutar to do it completely. The machloket was the rabbanan or the oraita, and some they say these days everything is the oraita. Again, you have to look into it and find out basically what's going on because every day it changes, all the technology and everything. So that's something, B'ez Hashem, we have to look into it.